Mia cucina in Italian means my kitchen, and I have a deliciousness to show you today. I am going to be making, since the weather changed and it got colder, I am going to show you how to make a chicken vegetable chili. And all the ingredients are, by scrolling down the recipe, you have all of the ingredients, including my homemade chili spice that I created myself to make all of this I can't talk, deliciousness. So what I want to do is I want to start my turning on my power here, and I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil that I'm just going to add just like this. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Get that out of the way. And then what I have here is I have 1 pound of dark chicken breast. I went to my butcher and I asked him if he could grind me some chicken, thighs, not breast, because I like the dark meat, and I'm going to put that there. Always remember to take your meat at least 15 minutes before you cook it, so it comes around temperature. So again, this is 1 pound of dark thighs, grounded chicken thighs. And to this, I am going to add my onions that I wanted to cook with the whole thing, like that. And I also have my garlic in here. Again, all the measurements are all by you scrolling down on the recipe, and it will tell you, all the ingredients that I'm using. And also of my amazing, delicious homemade chili spice. Years ago, I was in Nevada, and it was a chili competition. And I got to watch how all of these people from all over the country came for this chili competition. And some made, and I never knew anything about what they called it, the white chili. I always thought the chili was made, with beef, ground beef, or chopped up beef. And I learned a lot during my time there. Now I want to add my colorful peppers. And in the old days, the way that it started out as just, beef and beans and water. So pretty much did not have all the spices that we have today. So it's really grown from that. I am going to add my mushrooms to this as well, because after all, this is a chicken vegetable chili. And I love making this chili. And I also have here some asparagus, right in here like so. And I'm just going to have everybody come to the party and just kind of saute. I am going to lower this a little bit so I don't burn it, because I don't want to burn it. And what I want to do is I'm going to break the chicken into the vegetables as I am sauteing them in here. And this is going to cook for a good hour. Sometimes I may, let it go longer, depending on how busy I am during the day. And then now I'm going to add my tomatoes. Now, when I chop my tomatoes, I use all fresh tomatoes for this. I do not use canned tomatoes. It just gives it a better flavor, and for me it's less acid. And my cherry tomato plant exploded. So what I do is when I use my cherry tomatoes, because also you can utilize, if you don't have cherry tomatoes, you can utilize whatever tomato you like, or in some cases, some people will use a salsa into this. But I like to do it the old-fashioned way, on how I saw all these wonderful people coming from all different parts of the United States in this chili competition. So I learned a lot about that, and I also learned a lot about different chilies. They have a lot of chilies. Now I have a little bit of olive oil that I really want to get in here, because I want to get my entire 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here. And as you can see, it's starting to come together because, you know, this is going to cook for a good hour for all the wonderful flavors to come together. And I'm also going to add some beans. Now, what I do to the beans and what I do to my tomatoes, I cut my tomatoes the night before, and then I put my seasoning. And then when I do my beans, I also add the seasoning to the beans. And what I do is I use 1 can. I have my garbanzo beans in here, but I'm also using the juice of the garbanzo can. The rest of them I have washed and just added in here. Now, I like my chili chunky. If you don't like it very chunky, you can always add a little bit more water. Now, this is all going to mix together. It's a very beautiful chili. It is nutritious and delicious because it's got all the vegetables. And you have all the beans in here. Oh, you should be in this kitchen. It smells delicious. Now, what I can see that there is a little bit of liquid. I do want a little bit of liquid. And as this cooks with the tomatoes, it's going to create a little bit more liquid. So I like to turn this down on low, like a medium low. And first bring it to a boil and then to a medium low. And I'm just going to cover this because now I'm going to show you what I'm going to add to this. I have my bowl that I use my tomatoes. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of water. Aspetta, 1 minuto. 1 minute, I'll be right back. I'm just going to add a little bit of water, maybe a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to just shiftly, because I want to get all of this deliciousness. Because my wonderful chili spice, it's got everything plus more that you will get on a package that can contain all kinds of other things that you may or may not want. Now, if you want to thicken this and it's too juicy for you, I always recommend to use a tablespoon of masa. And masa, what it does, it really kind of puts it all together and then make it thicken. And that's what I use. So now, oh, this is looking beautiful. Oh, and it just makes this beautiful sauce. Now you can, what I like to serve with this is I like to serve different toppings, such as fresh, my goodness, I can't even think this morning, such as cilantro, such as avocado, tomatoes, onions. Now, to this dish that I have over here, I'm going to cut up some cilantro that I want to add. And what I want to do here is I want to add the stems and all. And this is my cilantro that we had a cold spell, and it kind of got a little wilted, but he's doing good. And I really want to get a lot of these stems because there's a lot of flavor in the stems. And how much cilantro? Well, I absolutely love cilantro. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up enough cilantro to not only use it in this dish, but to also use it for later for my topping, because I like to top that with a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cilantro, onions, all the goodness to the chili. Now you can also serve it with rice or quinoa. If you don't want to use rice or quinoa. I have used it with brown rice, but it has not been as delicious with the brown rice. So now if I were to measure this for you, I have a humongous tablespoon here of the cilantro. And a little bit more. So let's just add 2 tablespoons of cilantro. I love cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, then I would not omit it. I would just put a little bit because you really want to get the flavor of the cilantro in this dish. Let me just grab my hands to clean it, and I'm just going to mix it. Oh, wait till I show this to you. I'm going to bring the camera over here so I can show this to you. Now the chicken, it's practically done because that's how quick this came together. And all you can do is, now you can cover it up a medium, and let it just rock and roll for an hour, and you can go do some other things, or you can chop up everything for your toppings. Like I said, tomatoes, cilantro, onions, avocados, anything. And another thing too is I also like to serve it with some really good chips, organic chips. I'm going to taste this to make sure it's got enough salt. It needs a little bit of salt. So now I'm just going to take a pinch. And I don't like to salt my food until after I have everybody in here, because although I do have in my chili spice, I have a little bit of salt, it's not enough salt to salt the whole thing. So what we want to do here, guys, is we want to salt it afterwards. So let me taste it again. Okay, another pinch. And then that way, when you are doing this, you're not over salting it, because once you put all that salt in, you can't take it out. Oh, and it's just bubbling, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love food, and food loves me, obviously. But I'm trying to lose that weight. Yeah, I am going to be 66 pretty soon. Can you believe that? Another year. Happy New Year, everybody. Oh. Now I can come back and add some more of my wonderful chili spice, because I really want a little bit more, and I'm just going to add a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons to this. Because remember, we have it in the tomatoes. We also have it in the beans. And I just like to have that cumin flavor and all the spices that it came with. And then the more it sits, the more it'll get spicier. Now, you can add a jalapeno to this if you wanted to make it more spicy, or red chili pepper flakes, or you can add some other chilies. Let me bring the camera so I can show this to you. Can you guys see that? See how beautiful that is? So I'm going to cover this baby up. And I'm just going, like I said, I'm going to leave it for an hour. And then we should have this for lunch or for dinner. I want to thank every one of you that joined me today. Have a fabulous day and enjoy this amazing chicken vegetable chili. Baci a tutti quanti. Blessings to all. God bless every single one of you.